Do you guys remember when Tom Hardy had to drop out of playing Rick Flag in Suicide Squad because he was shooting the Revenant and he's really sad about it because, in his words, it was gonna be fucking Ally? Well, I guess it didn't turn out to be so fucking Ally, did it, Tom? Did it?
That darn movie show.
Hey Puddin', how's it going? Hey guys, it's Clarice here with That Darn Movie Show, and as you might have already guessed, I was not so much a fan of Suicide Squad, and that pains me so much to tell you because I was incredibly excited about this movie. I just think the entire concept of it, having a movie focused around villains and bringing in the likes of Harley Quinn and Deadshot and more kind of out there characters like Captain Boomerang, I think that is just a gem of a concept, especially for DC, because DC have always had the upper hand when it comes to villains. They've always had the most iconic ones out there. And for people like me, people who weren't really fans of Batman v Superman, I think one of the major complaints was that that film just didn't really seem to have any real love for its characters. It all just had this air of joylessness. It was all grey and dull and heavy and grim, and there wasn't any real emotional spark to it outside of a man screaming the name Martha over and over again. And this Suicide Squad seems like it could be the opposite, something that was passionate and vibrant and out there and, my god, fun! You're allowed to have fun with superhero movies! And that's what the trailers basically promised. So when all the bad reviews started coming out, I had kind of steeled myself for a film that would probably be just kind of silly and dumb and wacky, but you know, I can find a way to enjoy those kinds of movies. I secretly quite enjoyed Independence Day too, but my god, the disappointment that washed over me when I just realised that Suicide Squad, it's just Batman v Superman, but with added Bohemian Rhapsody. I just didn't find Suicide Squad fun to watch. Like, there are tiny pockets of fun, like Viola Davis as Amanda Waller was incredible. She just side-eyed her entire way through the movie, but on the whole, the film, it just felt dry as fuck. Just that same kind of grim and heavy and dull tone as Zack Snyder's DC movies. And okay, this is just me theorizing, but I do feel like Suicide Squad probably started out its life stylistically the same as Batman v Superman, and that when those trailers came out and everyone loved those, and when Deadpool came out and everyone loved that, I feel like they probably did add quite a few more jokes in the reshoots. I mean, some of the shots don't even seem to line up that well. And then in the editing room, they added all these crazy psychedelic effects. And then they added this totally dopey soundtrack where every other scene has this like wacky hip-hop song playing. And the end product is kind of this weird mixture of bog standard superhero film where all these characters team up and they're all friends immediately for some reason, and then they go off and defeat this big bad with this scary climactic thing in the sky, and then all this sort of weird forced wackiness, and it just feels really disjointed, and it feels like we lost a lot of stuff in the edit, especially when it comes to Harley Quinn and the Joker. It's kind of hard to talk about how they've been conveyed in the film because it's just very narratively confusing. Especially Harley Quinn's origins, because without spoiling it, they do this weird thing of combining all the different versions from the comics to the point that you don't really know where exactly her love for the Joker is coming from, but I feel like that is such an essential part of who she is as a villain, like where her insanity is coming from, and without that being clarified, she feels like this floating, pointless character. And yeah, Jared Leto's Joker, I know that's going to be a big conversation topic, but really, he is barely in this movie, and he only really exists as like a plot device to have this added extra threat that he's always coming after Harley Quinn. And really, I don't know if you learn that much about who the Joker is as a character, like apart from being this dude with tattoos, but I don't know, I guess Jared Leto is very enthusiastic in the role? I don't know. Also, I know there's been a lot written about the kind of racial and gender stereotyping in this film, and I'm definitely in agreement there. I mean, there is this like creepy obsession with women either getting their asses slapped or being punched in the mouth, which is just not pleasant. And also, really, there's no reason for the one Latino character, El Diablo, to be a freaking gangbanger who commits domestic violence. I mean, I know they're meant to be villains, but that's not fun villainy. That's not dangling someone over a shark tank. And like, may I remind everyone that one of the character's special powers in this movie is having boomerangs. And that kind of shit just always seems really dumb to me, because why would you deliberately alienate a huge portion of your audience? Like, I really, really wanted to love Harley Quinn and Katana, but their characters were so underwritten and so badly treated by this film that it just really put me off the whole thing. And it put off a whole bunch of the women I talked to afterwards who'd seen it. And really, it's just very frustrating to want to love a film so much, but to feel like it's so explicitly not made for you. I had such high hopes for Suicide Squad. I just thought it was such a great concept and such a great cast, but it's just this like messy, garbled film that can't quite decide whether it wants to be an anarchic, crazy comic book movie or just the same basic superhero film we've watched 3 times a year for however many years now. It just feels like such a wasted opportunity. But if you have had a chance to see Suicide Squad, I would love to know what you guys thought. You can let me know down in the comments below, or you can hit me up on Twitter. Details down in that description box. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe so we can hang out and talk about movies. I'll see you guys soon. Bye!